Home is a place.
No, no, no. Home is a feeling.
Home is my motherland.
It's more where you feel alive and inspired.
Well, I think we're talking about the same thing, aren't we? Home is where our story begins.
What's your story?
Homesick at Home every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m.
On Radio Van 103.1 with Ina MK
and Rina D.
Shot City, I'm coming home again.
Good evening, dear listeners of Radio Van. This is Homesick at Home, our English-speaking show, which is on air every Friday night from 9 to 10 p.m. And yes, we're here again, finally. And of course, we're not alone in our studio. Each time we have someone new to talk with and discover their story. And tonight we have lovely Elina Shahnazarova here. She's an artist and director, and she'll tell us more about her life in few seconds. Rena John, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're rushing.
I was in a traffic jam, really nervous, but I made it, so I'm fine now.
That's great.
So, tell us about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Baku, Azerbaijan, in 1982, and I grew up here in Yerevan. We moved here when I was 7 years old with my parents.
Mm-hmm. So now you're here. And why did you move here?
Why? Because of the situation, because of the conflict actually that started, and all Armenians, and actually not only Armenians, they moved from Baku, because in the end of 18th, when Soviet collapsed, in each and every country of Soviet time, there was a national movement started, and for us, we moved because of the real conflict. It was Armenians couldn't live in Azerbaijan anymore.
So, is there any other country you've lived so far, or only here in Azerbaijan?
I lived in Georgia for 3 years, but it was only because I get my master's degree in Georgia, and also I was studying documentary filmmaking in Georgia. And after that, I lived in Moscow. I spent there again 2.5 or 3 years. So yeah, it's mostly Armenian.
So a lot of different places, from Baku and then Armenia, Georgia, back to Armenia, Russia in between. Where is home?
Yerevan. Armenia is of course, Yerevan is home.
And what is home?
Yeah.
Actually, I had this discussion lately, and I think that the home is actually people. It's people. It's not the walls. It's not for me. It's even not it's not the land, but it's people. It's just somewhere where you're loved, and yeah. And
what if you're loved everywhere?
Yeah, this is actually yeah, that's right. Actually, I don't feel discomfort in any country I visit, and even more, no one understands that I'm not a person of their nationality before I start to talk with them. Even Georgia, people would people would say, "Why you're not talking Georgian?" And I'm like, because I'm Armenian, I'm not Georgian.
You're a lucky person. We need to go on an advertisement break for a few seconds, and then we'll be back with more questions. Stay tuned. This is Homesick at Home. Rena, make yourself at home.
But Ina, Yerevan is already my home.
But I mean Radio Van.
You mean a home within a home?
Homesick at Home on Radio Van 103.1. Join us every Friday. Homesick at Home, and we're back in our studio. Here we are with new questions for Elina. Are you ready
Yes.
for level 2?
She looks relaxed. You are relaxed,
Yes.
right?
She looks beautiful and relaxed.
Oh, thank you.
Elina, you're a director. With what you just said before, I mean, you said home is the people. Let's kind of do some directing here. Let's say we take all the people here living in Armenia, in Yerevan, and kind of move them somewhere else. Would that still be home for you?
Da, 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 da.
Wow, this question.
I
is
think she
actually-
needs more decorations to that.
Yeah.
Some lavash. Some,
Well, actually,
Some
I would.
trees.
some trees, yeah.
Well, actually, as I'm also working in feature film, I would build a decoration. So how all Armenians are doing abroad, you know, when we're living abroad, we're creating like small homes, yes,
Yes.
with breaking lavash and and building churches and schools. So yeah,
Yes.
I would probably do the same.
So, you studied in Yerevan before moving to Georgia to continue your studies.
Yes.
Where have you studied and what did you study?
I have a degree in international relationships, and actually I.
That's why she deals with anyone on this planet, anywhere.
No, it was just I always knew that I want to be a director, but I thought that 17 years old, when I was 17 years old, I thought that I will not dare to to even start study directing, because I think that the director should be informed. A person who is doing directing should be well informed, and probably I need first education and then go to directing.
Well, if you thought about all of this at 17, I think you should
Yeah,
have.
you were informed.
Yeah, you were informed more than enough.
And then I don't know. Just it was scary, to start filming just after the school.
Speaking about starting, when did you first earn your salary?
Well, actually, it was a honorarium, and it was at 17, because
Yeah.
First of all, I thought that probably journalism, the faculty of journalism, would be a good idea to get information and
To
for
be
further,
informed.
to be informed. And so I went to AMEC Plus, A1 Plus. There was a famous TV station which were really powerful and I mean useful for Armenia in the beginning of 90s. And so I went there and I asked them that I just wanted to try if journalism is for me or no. And actually they allowed me to do that. And my first working day was October 27. The October 27 that we know.
Significant.
Yeah, the significant one. So if you know, in that day, we had like Demircan and Vazgen Sargsyan were
Yes.
killed in parliament that day. So
Yeah.
so I first came to a TV station and I was like I was just
Young,
I think-
no experience, and
I
the first
just
thing you
finished-
see is, oh my gosh.
Yes, and actually all the journalists in working in newsroom, they were on set doing reports, and I was the only one. And a person has came and said, a group of priests
No.
They put a tent near to
The
Parliament.
United Nations office,
Oh,
and they're asking political.
asylum.
No, they want to go to European countries. Some European country. They want to leave
Political
Armenia.
shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this was kind of important topic to cover, and because no one was in the newsroom,
had the
they was
chance.
like they were thinking, oh, okay, who is going to do this? And so they sent me. So
This
So-
was your first job. Your
yeah,
first
this was my first
assignment.
job. This was my first assignment, and I
And
was
you-
running from
and you
from
succeeded.
being.
So what happened?
Yeah. And so I did my first report, and it was in news. And actually, I remember that Susanna, who was a manager in A1 Plus, she come after the live, and she said, "You know, I didn't notice that someone new was in news, like in our air. You know, it was nice, and it was actually I didn't even realize that what
What
happened. Yeah, it's I don't know.
So did you enjoy this position of journalist?
A1 Plus, actually, this TV station was a great school. Even after that, I worked in a couple of TV stations, and also I was co-working with international organizations and getting kind of education. And I realized that it was like really good school. Like for journalists, it
For
was really,
future.
really good school, and the great people were working there. Really, intelligent and experienced, and they were really. Each
Helpful
of them
people.
was amazing. Yeah, I've learned a lot from them.
Great.
Yeah.
Helena, how difficult was it, the move at the age of 7? Do you remember like any culture shocks? Or were you ready for something like that? I mean, did you have enough time? Did your parents kind of tell you where going, or was it just a fast move? What were the feelings you went through moving from a country to a different country at that age?
It's all my memories, they are like a 2 or 3 hours long indie movie, you know. I remember it in this way because yeah, I clearly remember all the process, how we were living, and actually how my parents were discussing if we are going to leave or we are going to stay, because Baku at the time was really like international city, and lots of nationalities were living there, and my parents were thinking that nothing like this can happen in their in their city, and they were always thinking that it's temporary and everything will end soon. And yeah, of course, I mean,
What
yeah,
was the
it was
question?
actually interesting. Yeah, what was the question?
I mean,
it
the
was-
feelings you went through, was it what did that make you feel like at that age? I mean,
Did you have culture shocks?
culture shocks? Did you see any differences between like Armenians or even Armenians living in Baku? Or
So we came here at August 29th, and I was 7 years old. So my parents did their best, and on 2nd of September I was already in school. So yeah, and
That was a quick
yeah,
transition.
it was really fast, and the cultural shock, maybe the language was the cultural shock, because in that time in Armenia there was also this, nationalistic movement, and we were speaking in Russian. Me and my sister, we were speaking Russian, and in school I was going to Russian school. And in my class, I didn't feel any discomfort because everyone was speaking Russian. It was just, the location was different. It was not the city I used to live, but I felt like this discomfort in streets, because me and my sister, we were light, like almost blonde. And my sister and I, we were speaking Russian, and like lots of negative emotions was about this Russian speaking. Actually, this was shocking, not shocking, but it was sad actually to understand that you are
Not accepted.
not accepted. Yeah, you're
Like the outsider.
Yeah, you are an outsider. Where of course, like. You don't know anyone in this city.
That's right.
And yeah.
What about now? Do you feel yourself as an outsider? I mean, you're still blonde. You still don't look
Still different.
Armenian, let's say. What does that make you feel like? Or what are people's reactions? Because I remember the first time I saw her, she started speaking Armenian. I was like, oh my God, you know Armenian? She said, I'm Armenian. So...
She looks like Meryl Streep.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
They say, yeah. I think that I'm an observer. I'll use this term probably, not an outsider anymore, but an observer. I always feel this distance from which I can observe the people, traditions, mentality. Yeah, the mentality is the... And actually, Armenia is probably the only country where people are not recognizing Armenian in me. I mean, no,
really?
they're like, Armenian is actually okay. Armenia is the only country where people don't think that I am from this country. I mean, I'm Armenian. Because in other countries, no one asked me which nationality you are, because even in Russia, they probably think that I'm a Jewish. That's why they're done asking me who am I. But even in Netherlands, I haven't been asked where are you from,
Okay, Elina, what was the most risky action you have taken in your life?
Most risky action? Actually,
have you killed someone?
No. No.
Robbed the bank?
Where have you been before the show?
Okay.
Well, actually,
I was taking risky actions
at
home.
I'm an emotional person. That's why I'm not usually thinking about if it is risky or no. If I feel like I should do this, I'm doing this. And actually, I really believe in my intuition. I have a good intuition. That's why I'm doing probably maybe I don't know. Maybe in when we were when I was 8 years old, after the Spitak earthquake, they were always doing this. In schools, they were always making up the situation that probably earthquake will be, and they would ask all the school go down, go out of the building. And once I with my class, we came out, and they couldn't find my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, and I don't remember what I felt, but my grandfather was telling me this. and so I just run to the school, back to the school. I was running all over the school, just looking for her. And when I came out from the school, I found her like playing with a puppy, in the school yard. So probably, at least this one is the most beautiful risky
action.
situation.
Elina, in your bio, you mentioned that you're a dreamer and a curious person since childhood. What is the reason that you think that? Or do you have any other stories that would actually kind of prove that you were like that since childhood? Or any other stories after childhood?
Yeah, I was always I was growing up in really different surroundings, and I was actually loving nature and traveling. And actually, my parents, even when it was difficult situation and the military troops were all over the Baku, and we were living in the center of the city, and it was really like not secure for Armenians to walk around. My parents were doing everything like they were making,
So it would be normal.
Yeah, so it would be normal. And for example, when the Russian troops, like Soviet troops, they came to Baku just support Armenians. To save Armenians. But it was scary actually to see the tanks, from your window. Yeah. But my parents did everything like it was like something, special. That this event was special, and they even, I remember that they woke me up saying like, look, now you'll see something that you have never saw, and like they make
it's very interesting and
holidays like
very smart
approach.
actually.
Yeah, very smart.
It's remind me from for the film, the film like the Life is Beautiful. I think this is the English name. Yeah, it was always like this, and that's why probably. And also, I actually. I was meant to be a ballerina, and I was dreaming about this. And when I was in the age of 6, I entered to ballet school, and I remember we had this Russian teachers who was like
Very strict.
touching us, and like everyone. I remember like 50 children staying there and waiting if they will be said yes or no. And so finally they they chose a group, and I was in the group. So I dreamed to be a ballerina. And when we came to Yerevan, and this
You
we had
could
this,
be one.
yeah. And so my parents were working, and we were living in Erebuni district, and the only ballet school is in the center. So it was difficult. Just to go from Erebuni to there, and so I don't became a ballerina. So
Just because you lived in Erebuni district? This is not fair.
And my parents
Why
were
don't
working,
we have a
so-
school in Yerepuni, ballet school?
Okay,
Yeah.
right here, right now. Say something about it.
So you spoke about ballet classes. Do you have other talents that you kind of practice now, hobbies? Anything you like doing
Yeah,
now?
actually, I think that I decided that if you have a bold dream, you should go for it. And even if you didn't become a ballerina, then you can do contemporary dance or modern dance or improvisation.
So what are you
And-
going to do?
I'm taking classes of improvisation, and I'm going to dance on stage. I'm not joking, actually. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah, I'd like everyone to. I mean, yeah,
To
it's
follow
good.
their dreams.
Yes.
It is important. We forgot about this. We're doing our everyday work and always living with this dream, which didn't come true. But we, I think, I would like this dream to come true, and so
We
I
need
believe
to.
that
It will.
It never
think.
late. You know, it's never late.
It's never late.
Yes.
True.
I mean, your work is very hectic, very tiresome. You have a tight schedule.
Yeah,
So this is important in that way, I guess.
yeah.
Let's talk about any projects that you're doing right now as a director.
Yeah, I'm I'm working as a first AD, first assistant director in a short film, which is beautiful, and it's about like relationship between nature and a human being and nature. And this is really important for me. So I'm happy to work in this short. Also, I'm researching. I have 2 ideas of documentaries, and I'm researching.
What are they?
Oh,
Is it a secret? We love revealing secrets
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
our
let's-
studio on air.
yeah. I will not. I mean, maybe I will not.
Maybe one of them.
One of them.
One of the subjects.
No. Let's say like this. If when I'm,
The world is watching you and they're waiting.
so, no, I'll be general. I'll be like speaking in general. So I'm traveling and I'm visiting film festivals, and I really want Armenia to be represented represented by its potential, not only by its past. Unfortunately, we're always showing our past, and everyone knows it. And people in Europe, they really are curious about us as characters. Like who is an Armenian person? How is he living? What is the situation in Armenia? What is special about this European nation? I believe that we're a European nation because of of course we're we're living in a crossroad, but I think that scientifically, what is the basis of Europe is one of the really powerful bases is a religion, and we have the same roots. So I think this is an important. I mean, of course, traditionally we're from the east, but but I mean, and we have a lot of potential to show, and we have really bold and bright people living in Armenia doing their job, and I know, let's say. Making Armenian culture growing and transforming nowadays, and I want to show these people culture and actually and
Modern
science.
Armenia
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah.
Armenia now, people in Armenia nowadays. Yeah, it's yeah.
Everything is about people, you see?
Yeah, I love people. I really love people because I think that I love people because I like to watch.
Do you like that song?
I love people.
George Michael. I love people.
No,
Talking about love, what is love?
where is love? Wow. Well,
Do we sing it?
I
Do we sing it?
3, 2, 1. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't. Oh,
We gave you time to
yeah,
think.
that's what I was going to say. But that was a
love.
bonus time. Extra.
I don't know. I think
It's people.
I think that each person has his own definition of the love. I think I think it's really a complex feeling, and I don't know if it is only feeling or it's also it's
Action?
all the lifestyle and action and responsibility, and actually the most important thing in love, I think it's respect and responsibility. Yeah, I think it's I'm not talking about these obvious things like emotions and like connections and romance and yeah and
Passion.
passion, of course. No, I mean it's really complex feeling. I don't know, and actually I think that it's just the most important feeling that yeah, the most important feeling. And actually I think that it is what is it? It is the power which keeps us alive. Yeah, let's say like this.
Oh, that's nice. So, what is the power that makes you alive? What's your source of energy?
Love.
This was Homesick at Home on We're done.
No, seriously.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, as an artist, as a director, because it's art. What is the source of your energy?
Yeah, it's source of my energy. It's yeah, art, nature, art, love, and it's all
Combined.
mixed, combined. Yeah, yeah, I think. Yeah, and actually, I really like. I told you today. I really like to observe what reality is preparing for me, especially.
Yes, you
and
mentioned
how,
something very interesting. Can you share that with us on air? You said you felt like reality is.
yeah, I felt that I'm always saying that reality is much richer than we think of it. I'm coming from actually documentary film. If I'm not, I don't like giving the genres because it's for science. For me, it's just I'm making film, and then the science or specialist should decide which genre is it. But I love to work in creative documentaries because it's always you cannot even imagine when you're starting to work with people or in situation. As soon as you are turning on the camera, the reality starts to play with you, and so I have this impression that I'm a like when I'm looking at me, I'm seeing me like
From
a
afar.
child who is just like playing balls, with reality, and it can be like, and it's just playing with reality. Yeah, I mean it's.
Speaking of childhood, what is your favorite
Oh,
childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory? My father was doing photography, and my favorite probably. I mean, it's yeah. I just love this memory. My sister, she has she has like green eyes, and my eyes are dark. And so where my father was processing the film. And if you know when you're processing the film, you're doing it in a dark room. And first of all, like some dark points are coming up on the photography. And so it was like mesmerizing me moment when my father was processing it, and then suddenly my eyes were coming out, and we were screaming and like and laughing. It was the most
Exciting.
yeah. It was really exciting to watch how the film is processing
Appearing.
it, becoming a photo. I love actually about the hobbies. I love photographing. Yeah. I have lots of hobbies. That's why I didn't mention it. But yeah, I love this.
So you were an observer from a very young age. If
Yeah.
this was your favorite memory, I mean, yeah, it's very nice.
What is freedom and where does it start or end?
What is freedom? What is freedom? I think freedom is starting in our mind, of course, and in the same place it's ending. It's all in our head, you know, and freedom is what is freedom?
She's never thought about this before.
You see, it's
No,
something interesting, new.
No, it's it's just when you. I am the kind of person who really relies on. I mean, I rely on my intuition, as I told, and if you rely on your intuition, and I'm always listening to my heart, and I'm not. Of course, there are some moments where you should analyze or think and overthink of something, but it's like a working process. It's not the way I'm living.
It's like a documentary.
Yeah, and actually because we artists we can just go just follow our heart, you know. And I always did so. Even though sometimes I was regretting, I was like, why I did so, but I was just honest with me. I was just listening to my heart.
That's
So
another
this is-
form of freedom.
Yeah, I think this is freedom. I think this is freedom.
Yes.
Yeah, just to follow your heart.
So do you get it?
Freedom is hard. One word.
Oh,
What
she
is-
needs one word.
Yeah.
So freedom is freedom is air. Is just the air.
I like that.
I mean, I cannot live.
the shorter, the better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I cannot imagine myself living in not free. You know.
Love is responsibility. Freedom is air.
Ina, one word. What is freedom?
Yeah.
Oh, you can get to do it to others. I'm doing it to you right now.
Well, we can do it after the show.
But love is not
We
a
have plenty of
responsibility. Actually, life is
Love.
flow. Love.
That's what you said. I'm quoting you.
I thought that it's really complex. It's complex, and it's like swimming. You cannot swim if you will not put if you will not move all your muscles. Love is something like this. So love is probably flowing. It's flow.
We got it to move the muscles,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Love is flow, and
You
freedom
can
is
think
air.
about it. You still have 15 more minutes to go.
Ah, really? So no, I'm.
If you were to go on a deserted island, what would you take with you? 5 things.
Wow.
One word.
This,
Oh, no, 5 words this time.
okay. What I would take.
Lavage.
We're talking about objects, right?
Anything that comes to your mind.
Anything you can take.
Anything.
But you cannot say Armenia.
No, okay. Unfortunately.
She's a director. She can do that.
Yeah.
You don't think she can do that? She's director.
Well, yeah, she can do anything.
Yeah.
Go
In
ahead.
a film, yeah. I can do anything in a film. I would take.
She didn't name even one.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult. I mean, I'm spoiled. I want to.
So take your fantasy.
She wants more than 5. Ina.
Yeah, I want
Give her
more
more
than
than
five.
5. Give her 6. Come on.
Okay,
I can-
6.5.
Okay, she gives you 6. I give you 7. But start with the first.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and grab your fantasy, then you'll have the rest.
Actually, yeah, no, I will. It will be my family, a person who I love. This is two or what? Or
What do you think?
or it's two.
Okay, I'm counting.
This is important
in my mind.
My camera,
Ah.
books, for sure. Then music.
Do you ever eat?
I can find I can find what to eat in an island, you know.
in
So
books.
I'm not going to
She's
take.
the hunter lady.
She
No,
will
no.
find what to eat in books.
No, I'm
The
not.
soul food.
I'm not eating
Okay.
meat, so I will.
Okay,
I
it's
will-
easy.
Yeah, it's easy for me to live in in an island without meal taking with me. So it was parents, person I love, books, music, for camera 5. 5 camera.
No
Okay.
dancing shoes?
No, I will dance barefoot.
That's what I thought. So she cannot live without books on the island, and we cannot live without the advertisement. We have another 10 minutes to go. This is Homesick at Home with Elina. Stay tuned. We still are going to come back.
Ina, I thought this was an English-speaking show.
Are we on air?
Yes. Every Friday night.
Homesick at Home. Homesick at Home. Do you ever feel homesick, Elina?
No. I mean
If you're far away from Yerevan,
Yeah.
yeah,
for
if I
instance.
far I'm missing people who I love, really. Yeah.
That's the only thing you miss? What else?
Sometimes when I'm in countries where there are now mountains.
So you're a mountain bird.
I don't know. I love forests. I love mountains. I love sea. Actually, I was born in a seashore. So I mean in a city in seashore. So I don't know. But mountains, they I felt that feeling that I'm missing mountains. So when I'm not home, I feel this. Yeah.
I mean, you have this strong relationship with nature, I can tell. And if I may quote you saying, I believe that art is bringing us back to nature.
Yeah.
This is a quote. This is something you have said. Can you tell us how?
Yeah, I think that a human being is really a part of nature, and each feeling that we have, and we have, I think, the same. Where
You mean similarities between nature and humans? This is what you're
yes,
talking-
of course. I don't know if it is a similarity of it's just the nature of human being is also nature. I mean, it's natural, you know, and this is for me the nature is just I don't know an ocean, you know, and we're just a particle of this ocean, and if artist is what is artist doing is he's observing himself and he's talking about this, he's bringing up the subjects that he's that hurts or
that touches us.
yeah, that touches us. So I think that each kind of art is bringing us back. We just getting know nature better, getting know
When you
ourselves, or
Remembering
other
what we
people.
forgot.
Yeah, remember.
Yeah, because she
About
said
nature.
bringing back. That's what I was going to ask. You
Yeah.
think we were there, but we kind of...
Sure.
Was drawn
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
because of the civilization. Probably.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. And actually, like, I'm always hearing people saying that in our era or in these
in our
times,
times. Yeah.
but it isn't true. I believe like even ancient Greeks, like they were talking about this. They were talking about consuming stuff, and there's a Greek philosopher. He was actually he has like a work about this, what is happiness, and etc. And he was discussing this consumering nature, like of human beings, and he was discussing this, that people has became like they
Drifted
just
away.
drifted away from the nature. Yeah, and actually he was saying that my happiness is to live in a small house in the nature and having my friends eating a bread and onion with me, sharing just the bread and onion with me. This is his exact words, but I don't remember his name. I'm afraid I will.
We'll
I will-
Google.
yeah.
Google it, people.
So yeah, of course we was.
So art's bringing us closer, bringing us back to nature. Could this become a documentary one day by Elina?
Yeah, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Do you know that, for example, how music were created? So people were just observing and listening the sounds of nature. And they started to repeat these sounds and just like little by little, they create this art form. And what is painting? I mean,
Colors of nature.
colors, and what is colors? I mean, like we can see, like fish, for example. Let's just concentrate on fish, so we can get all the flora and fauna. These patterns and colors that we can find in nature. This is something that inspires us to create visual art. And I don't know, documentary. What is documentary? It's just it is just the curiosity. It's just the feeling that you want to know more about yourself, to discover more about yourself.
Yeah, sure.
It's not that you are doing documentary about someone, but you are going to know each other. And actually, after the film. Your changes, you can feel that you changed a lot.
You have changed.
Yeah, you changed a lot.
Then we go out and then the routine just slaps us in the face.
Yeah, that would be nice to run away from the routine and everything else.
Yeah. Talking about routine, we kind of came to the end of our show, didn't we?
Unfortunately. Do you have your last word to say? Do you like our show?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's like we're sitting, the three of us, in a kitchen and just like in the middle of the night and discussing something.
Having a chat.
Yeah, and my last word would be, it's really, I mean, just. I would like people would be be happy and follow their dreams, because I think that this is the most important thing, to follow your dreams, and then everything will be easier.
Okay, from now on, go ahead and just follow your dreams.
Yeah,
Brenna.
yeah.
I'll
it's
be
not-
here next Friday, don't worry.
Do you hear her? You have 1 week to follow your dream and then update me on what you've done.
I might go dancing with her, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool,
sure.
you know.
And also we can try Rena in movie,
We were talking about, you want to come dancing with me?
and we have like secrets.
If you get the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. This was Homesick at Home. And we're done. It was nice to be here with you guys again. And if you missed our show, you can go ahead and catch up by watching our podcast on our Facebook page and our official website, which is www.radiovan.fm. And also, make sure you're here on air next Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. because we'll be back.
And we'll be waiting.
Thank you, Elina.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
We
you.
enjoyed you
I
here in
enjoyed
our studio. Have a great weekend and a safe Friday night.
Good night.